Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Discuss the latest news, just fans giving their views. This channel is red. They see the bar and raise it, plus they rep for the ladies. Trust it's red. Female voices in football. Red. If you want to talk up, it's a red channel for me and you. Subscribe and tune into the Ladies in Red.
Hi guys, welcome back to Ladies in Red. It's a solo show tonight. You've just got me, you've just got Soph on her own talking to you lot, and hopefully listen to your views as well regarding Ole Gunnar Solskjær, regarding the Conte rumours. There's so much to talk about, and not even just United, obviously there's Barcelona and the whole situation there as well, and I want to delve into all of that with you lot. James is already piping up with a 5-0. God, that was so last week, James. I'm over it. I'm not really. I'm not over it. I'm not over it at all. Not in the slightest. But I'm not going to talk about that too much. Let's see who's in the chat already. Big up to HSM Vlogs. Hope you're doing well. So evening to James in there. James is here somewhere. I saw James. Good evening to you, James. Hope you are doing well. Decimus, hello to you. Hope you're doing well. Zio is in the chat as well. Big up to Zio. Make sure you go and give him a follow on all his socials as well. Even to Zoe too. Decimus says, let's salvage the season and kick Ollie out before it's too late. Ollie is not a legend to me because I wasn't even alive when he scored in 1990. Look, he is a legend. Whether you're around then or not, he's a legend. But being a legend doesn't automatically mean that you're not allowed to get sacked as manager. Of course it doesn't. For me, you'll always be a legend regardless, and I always say that. Hello to Vincent. Hope you're doing good. Evening to Shane as well. Hope you're good. Sorry, I'm trying to get through everybody. James is tuning in from Melbourne, Australia. Wow. Good evening to you. Hope you are doing good. Good morning to you. In fact, good morning to you. Tom, good evening to you as well. But yeah, in terms of the whole Ole Gunnar Solskjær situation, look, you all know my thoughts. I'll never sit here and berate a manager. I'll never sit here and say, look, I want the manager sacked. I want what's best for my club. And right now, looking at it, I mean, we've just been battered, obviously, against Liverpool. Is Ole the right guy for the job? I said that this season was make or break for him. After the recent performances and obviously that recent result as well, I did say I cannot see how he's going to come back from this. I can't see him turn it around. But does that mean that I don't want him to? Of course it doesn't. It doesn't mean I don't want him to. Of course, I hope he proves a lot of people wrong. I hope he proves me wrong. And he does. It looks like Fergie has obviously spoken as well and said that he deserves a bit more time. He will be in charge for the Spurs match. But for me, even if he beats Spurs, that shouldn't be a basis to judge it on. For me, we've given him time. Like I say, the performances have been poor. That result against Liverpool is sackable in itself. The performance, just no fight, no desire. Yeah, so it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And from my point of view, look, I'll never slate him. He's a legend for me regardless. But is he the right guy to take us forwards? And no, I have serious doubts about that. And that's just me being totally honest. I know a lot of United fans their minds changed after that Liverpool game as well, understandably. A lot of people want Ollie to go. James said Ollie's a legend regardless, but it hasn't fully worked out as a manager for you guys. Same with Lampard at Chelsea. Do you say it hasn't worked out? For me, he's put us in a better position than what we were in terms of the squad, in terms of the personnel that he's brought in. But I just feel like it almost feels like he's hit the ceiling now. Like, can he take us any higher than that? And I had faith in him. I was hoping that he would be able to. But after seeing the start of this season, you have to say, is he really that guy? Because we keep seeing the same mistakes week in, week out. And like I say, we brought these new players in, but we're still playing the same players from last season. Sancho hasn't really had a look in yet. Van der Beek, we already know. Well, a lot of people don't even know what he looks like because he hasn't played at all, hardly. So why do we keep playing with the same personnel? Is it because Ollie's got his favourites and he doesn't want to rotate? Do you know what I mean? So I think it has to come down to Ollie. We know that the manager always takes the brunt of it. And it's not just Ollie. We know that there's major issues above and whatnot as well. But we need an experienced manager for me to take these players now to the next level, because the squad that he has built, and obviously I'm thankful to Ollie for what he has built and what he's brought in. But we're Manchester United and we should be competing, especially with who we've brought in. Zio says Pochettino. I saw those rumours the other day as well. The biggest rumour is obviously Conte. Conte is apparently ready to come to United. He wants the United job. He believes he can work with these individuals like Ronaldo, like Pogba, like Varane. He is a winner. He's won in the past. His style of football, you wouldn't say is the most entertaining to watch, but he is a winner. He's not normally the manager who's going to stay for a long time as well. Do you risk that for immediate success? Do you get rid of Ollie? Do you bring Conte in, probably for short term, but for success to win trophies? Is it at that point at United now where you're thinking, we've got this killer of a squad, this monstrous squad, we need to be winning something, and we need to be winning something as soon as. So do you bring Conte in for that? A lot of people obviously believe, because of the whole Diego Costa fallout and stuff like that, people think, is Conte going to be able to manage these players? Look, he's got a good relationship with Pogba. I'm sure he'd be able to. I'm sure he'd be able to. He doesn't. One thing I do say, and for this squad, I've said it many times, we've had certain players who've been here since Fergie, or like Van Gaal, Moyes era. and it continues to fail. Now I question mentality a lot of times. I question mentality of the coaches that we've got in there, question mentality of Ollie, question mentality of the players that we've got. But the players have to take some blame because, like I say, there's been a core of players who've moved through each one. At some point, players have to take a bit of responsibility. We keep seeing tweets after games and whatnot. That's not good enough, is it? We know that's not good enough. So yeah, I think Conte coming in, he will not take any passengers, and that's one thing that I'll do. Like, he will stick it up the players. He will make players work hard, and he will make them graft for a starting place. And I think we need that. I think we need to put a rocket up some of these players, and I do think Conte will give us that. Doug, thank you so much. Is that 5 for the 5 goals that he scored against us at the weekend? I'm just asking. I'm only joking. Doug, thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate it. Just evening, Soph, hope you are good. Can you see the same team on Saturday, or will there be wholesale changes? He's too stubborn to change things, in my opinion. If it was me in charge, I would change it. Like I say, we keep trying the same things. It isn't working. So why not play the likes of Donny? Why not give Sancho a start? We need to try something new. Ollie said a few weeks ago, something's got to give, but it just hasn't been changed. Like you say, it doesn't seem willing to change, willing to rotate. I can see Ollie putting the same 11 out and saying, you know what, right your wrongs, correct your mistakes, go and put a statement out there. I can see that happening. But would I rather see that, or would I rather see a bit of rotation? I would definitely rather see a rotation. I mean, Tom's called it there. He said he reckons it'll be McFred again. And the reaction will not be good from the fans if it is McFred. Will not be good at all. But what you probably will say, this game is like the battle of the incompetent managers at the minute. Nuno isn't doing a great job. We all know the Ollie situation as well. I think this could be an interesting game. 2 managers under a lot of pressure. I think it could be like a bit of a hesitant game from both teams. I think both teams might stand off a little bit. So I saw some people the other day predicting a 0-0. I wouldn't write against it. Obviously, I'm not going to give that as my prediction because I don't like to say that. But I do think it's going to be a tight game. Curlers, good evening to you. He said, why all this talk of short-term with Conte? For all we know, he could come in and settle into a winning team for years. It's just social media dross. I think it's just because what all the other clubs that he's been at, he's gone there, he's won stuff and kind of moved on. And I'm not knocking him for that. I think that's the way modern football is. You don't often see long-term managers, and I think that's why I was clinging on to Ollie so much. I was hoping that he was going to be the difference. He was going to be a different type of manager where we do see a bit of that longevity. Unfortunately, it's not looking that way. But in terms of Conte, him coming in winning us trophies, I'll be happy with that. And of course, yeah, you're all right. I think with any manager you bring in, it's going to be a risk. No one quite knows how it's going to pan out. Do you know what I mean? So I think it'll be a risk regardless. But at least with Conte, his CV backs him up in the sense that he's won a lot. Like I say, certain personnel, I think he'll be able to handle them, and he will not take any passengers. He will not players not pulling the weight on the pitch. And I think we've seen that too often from certain players. We've already mentioned it when we try and press. Certain players just do not do it. We all know the players who win in our team. I think if you get Conte in, players will have no choice but to buy into his system. You can't keep blaming the manager as players, can you? You can't keep doing that. You have to stand up as well. Gaz, thank you so much for that. And the officers, Ollie out as well. A lot of people, when you get in the chat, let me know if you're Ollie or not Ollie out. I'm pretty sure that the majority will be Ollie out, but I'm interested to see what's going on in the chat. Zoe says, I don't think he'll change it up, but for me, he has to. If he starts McFred, he's digging his own grave. Yeah, I agree. And I think there's been time in the past where you're thinking he's surely not going to play them again, and he does. He is stubborn in that sense. Like, Ollie does not, like, he's very reluctant to change, isn't he? He's very reluctant to move. And like I say, Donny sat there on the bench, poor Donny. Play him. I would even rather see Matic and McTominay in that midfield. That would be my ideal choice, but McFred, surely no. So we've got Ollie out there. He fails with outboards very easy. He falls out with balls very easily. He's massive history of it. So it's just an assumption that he won't last long. Yeah, of course, these are the rumours have been thought about, not the rumours, the facts that he falls out with balls as well. And like I say, key characters like Diego Costa as well. He made it quite toxic at Chelsea, I believe, in that, was it the second season? Conte at least will bring the best out of players, give this team an engine, if nothing else. And what I like about Conte is, a lot of people moan about Ollie on the sidelines, how he's pretty he's stationary, stands there, doesn't say too much. He's not shouting the orders. Well, Conte is completely different in that sense, isn't he? Conte is one of these who runs up and down the sidelines. He's running just as much as the players. His energy on the side, he'll drive the players forwards. My ideal manager has to be Ten Hag from Ajax, but is that going to happen? No. I'd probably go with Zidane as well over Conte, just because Zidane coming in to work with our French players. Obviously, he's won the Champions League a few times at Real Madrid as well. It's just a glamorous appointment, isn't it? And like I say, everyone who we get in will be a risk, including Zidane. But he would be my preferred choice. But no matter who comes in, if Ollie stays in, I will continue to back the manager because that's what I'm like. I don't like to berate the manager. But it'd be interesting to see what happens, definitely. Ollie out. His legacy, sadly, to make the fans into a toxic split. What I will say about the fans the other day, even though we were 5-0 down, fans continuously sang after the final whistle. So read into that all you like. Ten Hag plays amazing football. Imagine with his squad. Exactly. Theo, if you want to jump in, by the way, just drop me a little message and I'll send you a link as well. You can jump in with me. You have to excuse my cough, by the way, guys. Don't worry, it's not COVID. To be fair to Conte, I think Costa will fall out with a mirror. See, that's not good, is it? That's not good. That's not what you want to see, though, is it? So, yeah. Who's your preferred? So let's get a little voting. So we've got Zidane there. Zidane said he's not interested in the United job. We'll see. Exactly, the football that he plays, that's what I'm attracted to. That's what I want to see at United, attractive football. That's why Conte, I'm not 100% on Conte, to be honest with you. That's what puts me off about Conte coming in, his style of football and the way that he might upset the dressing room, because I think that's what Ollie has brought so well, the chemistry in the dressing room. But it does seem to be turning, definitely, obviously, with the result the other day as well. Zidane can't come. United have got no leverage over him, but over Conte they do. Yeah, true. Zidane for me, but he wants the French job. I can't argue with that, to be honest with you. Cannot argue with that. Enrique's not a bad shout as well. Enrique's not a bad shout. I've seen that name battered about as well. I think, obviously, what's important for me is we get the right manager, because I think for so long now, we just get the available manager. I mean, even with Ollie, he was coming as a temporary fix, and then we ended up getting him long term because he was just available at the time. Is it worth us biding our time and waiting for the right guy to come in? Or do we just try and get someone there? And like I say, for that success, that immediate success, that new bench as well, a new manager gives the team with the run of games that we've got as well. Is it worth doing it for that? Would be interesting to see if Dalot and Tellez in the back five. I think Ronaldo would love that. Luke Shaw hasn't played well this season, has he? Luke Shaw, let's be honest, he hasn't played well. So I personally would like to see Tellez given a shot. And now with Tellez, I've never really been overly convinced by his performances. Obviously, he scored that great goal recently in his last game that he played for us. But other than that, I've always been a bit undecided. But it's a bit for me where he hasn't had a run of games to prove himself. I think he needs a run of games to try and kind of get into it. Why not? Like I say, whatever's happening at the minute isn't working. Why not try something new? And like I say, Tellez, I'm sure would be ready to jump in. Dalot is a different one for me. I think when I've seen Dalot play, I have to be honest and say I think he looks poor, and I might be upsetting a few people here. But again, he's young. He hasn't had to run games, and I get that totally. Dalot would offer us a bit more going forwards. All know my thoughts on Wan-Bissaka when he gets the ball. For me, he just breaks down immediately. He just looks so unnatural, like he's playing on stilts when he's got the ball at his feet. But yeah, I don't know. Dalot, I'm unsure on. Tellez, I think, yeah, why not? Why not put Tellez in and see how he gets on? Ten Hag is longer term than Ronaldo, in my opinion. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm glad that other people agree with me on Dalot. He just never stood out for me whenever he's played. I've been a bit disappointed, I have to be honest. But like I say, he hasn't got a run of games. It is always harsh, isn't it? It's not fair on Conte to say he's just like Jose. Jose finished, but Conte is still in his peak. I think it's more for their personality, isn't it? It's more for the personalities. I think they're similar in that sense. But yeah, I agree. Jose is obviously, you'd say, on his regression now, on his way down, whereas Conte is still in the middle, in his prime, really, in terms of his managerial career. Curlis, thank you for that. Please make sure you do hit that like button, guys, and share the video and subscribe. Of course, I'd really appreciate that. Dalot is not defensively good. Going forward, he's okay. Exactly. He can put a ball into the box for the likes of Ronaldo, Cavani to feed on, definitely. One thing that really frustrates me lately, and as well, obviously feedback in here, but the fact that Ronaldo, I mean, Tom's commented on Ronaldo there, he does need crosses, but how many times have we seen Ronaldo pulling out onto that left-hand side or that right-hand side, and then you're looking into the box and you've got Greenwood who's just stood on the edge of the area, no one attacking that box. We need Ronaldo in there, and that's another thing that's been frustrating me, because we keep talking about Ronaldo needing service, but a lot of the time he's the guy with the ball out on the wing. We need someone in there. Craig said he would like Ruben Neves. I would also like Ruben Neves. Conte would be good for the mentality. We are so weak. Exactly. There's going to be no passengers if Conte did come in. That's what my big plus. I think we've got players who tend to hide when the going gets tough. We don't like it. Conte isn't going to settle for that. He doesn't have that kind of player in his squad. Looks like Pogba and Van der Beek could be gone in January. What's your thoughts on this? Well, I read today that Pogba apparently we're willing to let him go on a free in the summer. Apparently we're willing to let him go. So what's your thoughts on that? Obviously, with regards to Pogba, for me, nobody's bigger than the club. I'll be sad to see him go. But if he doesn't want to stay at United, then for me, he goes. And all this talk about he'll only play under certain managers, for me, you play for the club. Regardless of the manager, you play for the badge and you play for the club. I know he came out, for once, he came out and he spoke. And I really appreciated that from Pogba, because that's what we've wanted this whole time, him to just come out and speak against the press, which I really appreciated. But of course, if it's a choice between keeping him, I'd only want to keep him if he wants to stay at United. I don't want to keep a player who doesn't want to be here. But leaving him for free would just be painful as well, wouldn't it? So I'll be disappointed. But again, it just sums up how this club is run, realistically, doesn't it? Shaquem says we're a better team than Pogba is in it. I'd agree, and I can understand his frustration at the weekend not starting as well. I believe he will stay to the end of the season, but we will lose him on a free. It looks we will lose him on a free. Twice on a free is banter. I know. Good points on Brady. If a player's mentality isn't up to scratch, you ain't in the picture as simple as. Exactly. You're not here just for your name and for your ego and for your reputation. You have to be playing. And Conte will only have players who look what he did with Diego Costa. Ego does not matter to him. I'd love to still whole Ajax set up trust. I know we all would. And Craig says I'm a big Wolves fan and Nuno is an alright manager. He is. It's just not going well for him at Spurs at the minute. I think the whole Harry Kane thing as well. Obviously, we know how important Harry Kane's goals are to Spurs, and that whole drama with him in the summer, I don't think has helped Nuno as well in that sense. Will you change your name from Solskjær if Saxters? I don't know what I'll change it to. I need some suggestions. What would you guys? Yeah, because that's one thing. If Ollie gets sacked, I'm gutted because Solskjær is a name that stayed with me now, obviously since Ollie came in, and it's a name that I'm really proud of, and I'll have to get rid of it. So I'm actually gutted about that. You do need a strong manager who will kick some asses who need it. Exactly, agree. And I think Conte would be the guy to do that. Good evening to you, Chris. I hope you're doing good. So many players in their comfort zone, that needs to change. Honestly, all you guys, you're making perfect points. Do you think we have a good medical staff overall? Them we seem to keep players even when they're injured. Shaw, Maguire, Rashford. Ultimately, that comes down to Ollie though. Ollie chooses the team, and we can talk about the medical team, and obviously we've said that in the past. But Ollie chooses it, and if Ollie feels that players are fit and then they're not fit, that has to come down to him. And it's not like he hasn't got other choices. We saw Maguire come back. He's been dreadful since he's come back. Did he come back too early? It's definitely looking that way. But we had Boye there. And he could have quite easily played as well. But one positive, Varane is back in training, and I'm buzzing to see Varane back in training as well. Our club is ran disgracefully. It's beyond anger. It's just laughs. I think that's the point we're at now. So Faldo, Safani. What about when Cavani goes as well, though? Yes. I don't know. I need some good suggestions. I've been trying to think about this. This is one of the thoughts that go through my head. What can I change my name to afterwards? And I'm struggling with it. I wanted Ten Hag, but the more you deep it, Conte is the man for now. It does look like he is the man for now, doesn't it? And like I say, the rumours are that he is ready to come to United. If Ollie does go, and I'm saying if, because like I say, the rumours are that he's being backed for the time being. We'll see. Solskjær. Tom, that's harsh. One manager who is now available, you need to stay away from, which is obvious. It's Koeman. Yeah. Steve Bruce as well. A lot of people saying, bring him in. This is the time, Steve Bruce. Bring him in. Don't think Ten Hag is going to United because mid-season he won't come. You know, if we could get, and me and Zio were saying this today, if we could get some kind of contract where in January we say, look, if we can guarantee Ten Hag, obviously at the end of the season, we'll stick with Ollie till the end of the season. I think a lot of United fans could kind of accept that because there's like a plan. But at the minute, it seems like we just panic and we go for the manager who's available at the time, whether they suit the club or not. And I think that's the frustrating thing. Oliver says, don't give up on Ollie. I'm still called Solskjær. I've not given up on Ollie. I'm just saying I think it's hard for him to turn this around. And I hope he proves a lot of people wrong, including me. And he does turn it around from this point, of course. But I don't know how long he's going to be given to turn it around. Because if you beat Spurs for me, then that's not, we forget about that 5-0 against Liverpool and the dreadful performances so far. I don't think that really makes a difference. Understandably, of course it was. Ajax are not going to want to lose in mid-season, as I already say. Definitely not going to. Tactically inept. Sure. I need something with Soph in it. It needs to be catchy. And I just can't think of any manager names right now who are out there where I can actually fit the word Soph into it. I don't know. I hope he doesn't relegate us. Surely it's not that bad. I mean, that would be horrendous. All United targets are in the teams that are winning, so it might be an interim pick as good choice for Ollie for the season. It could be relegated in this form. Something's got to change. We can't keep playing like this. We cannot keep playing like this. We've already said that. Greenwood ain't going to get no game time if Conte comes in, and that's the other worry. He's not got a reputation really for the youth players and bringing you through, which we all know is in the DNA at Manchester United. Do you sacrifice that for success, or do you then wait and try and get somebody who actually fits the mould? And that's my point with Conte. You know what? It's like we need to do a list of pros and cons, and I think it's probably pretty even on either side. But success is obviously what it comes down to, and I do believe Conte will bring that. I do believe he will. If you beat Spurs, you need to build that form of consistent results and performances. What some people need to realise is that if you win, it does nothing but paper over the cracks. And obviously, performances need to improve. Performances have been dreadful, even though we have got a few wins where you probably say, oh, we were a bit lucky there. We've scraped through games, like even Newcastle and teams like that were carving us open. They could have scored a lot more on the day, and I think we've obviously got lucky on many occasions. And I think that we need to think about our performances as well as the results. We need to improve, definitely. What's my team? What's your team? Let me know your predictions. So for me, am I choosing what I want to pick, or am I going with what I think Ollie will pick? And I think that they're two majorly different things. So for me, what I would like to see is De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka right back, Varane if he's fit back in. Maguire will start. He's skipper. So Varane and Maguire back in as centre backs. Luke Shaw left back. Personally, I'd rather see Tellez, but I'm going to go with what I think is going to happen. So yeah, Luke Shaw left back. In the midfield, I think it'll be McFred. What I'd rather see is probably Matic and McTominay, or maybe even Donny in there with Matic. I would like to see that. Bruno just in front three of Ronaldo, Rashford, and I'm going to say Sancho. I would like to see Sancho getting a start as well. That would be mine. I'd like to see what your guys' predictions are as well. Escaping valleys, not cracks. Yeah. Probably more accurate, to be fair. Name suggestion is Sophie Fernandez. Soph Fernandez. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard. To be fair, that's one of the better ones. I couldn't think of any. Like, I've been trying to think. And De Gea, Varane, Maguire, Shaw, Sancho, McTominay, Fernandez, Matic, Tellez, Ronaldo, Rashford. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Boy Varane. Okay, that's different. Boy Varane, Tellez, Bruno, Matic, Donny, Rashford, Cavani, and Sancho. That's who I want to see. Not bad. I'd like to see Sancho start. I mean, Zio's saying there, Sancho won't start. But Naldo's a good one. Fabinho is also a good one as well. I hope he does. I think Greenwood has been decent this season. The last few games, I think he's been a bit quiet. I know we got subbed off, obviously, against Liverpool as well. For me, it's not working. Why not just try some of our new players? If it was me, I'd have Donny and Sancho in, but that's just not going to happen, isn't it? But I would like to see Sancho given a start. With Rashford coming back, I've already said it as well. I want to see Sancho and Rashford on the pitch at the same time. So from tired of these excuses, he's clueless. We just can't win any trophy with Ollie. With love all the way from Nigeria. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for that as well. Look, I think we're all tired. We're all tired. It does look clueless, doesn't it? And the club looks clueless as well with regards to what we're doing. It's frustrating, really frustrating. And like I say, this Spurs game for me is a bit of a, yeah, we might win, and I'll be happy that we win, of course. I'm not one of these people, I'm not even going to say fans, I'm going to say people who want the team to lose just to get the manager out. I'm never going to do that, ever. Regardless of who is in charge, you want your club to win. You want your club to do well, and you want your club to succeed. And that's why I don't agree with those comments saying whoever is manager, like if Solskjær's manager, then certain players want to leave. And I know that came out to be untrue, but you play for the club, don't you? You play for the shirt and you play for the badge. And you know what? Our players this weekend are playing for pride more than anything as well. To lose 5-0 against your biggest rivals, you need to bounce back. So, yeah, I'm expecting a heck of a performance. And if we don't, then fans are going to be even more frustrated than we already are. Jane, me too. Me too. I think he'll be like, go and right your wrongs, go and make up for the mistakes, go and please the fans, make a statement. I can see that happening as well. But like I say, Spurs have been poor with Nuno as well. Spurs have been pretty poor with Nuno in charge. It's going to be a really interesting game. A really interesting game. In terms of me and my score predictions, it's a tough one. Get your score predictions in the chat as well. But you know what? I think both teams will score. I don't have any confidence in us not conceding at the minute with the gaps that we leave all over the place. And unless something miraculous happens with the coaching this week, I think we'll continue to see that mistake. I'm going to say 2-1 to United. I'm going to say 2-1 to United. A draw isn't a bad shout as well. A draw is not a bad shout. If it does that and plays the same team, we are doomed. Surely the performance cannot be as bad as the other day, though. That's the one thing. 10-0 to Spurs, 2-1 to Spurs or 1-1 to Shivan. The optimism is gone. There's no optimism amongst United fans. El Saki, El Sakiko. I can't even say that, but I like it. 1-1, 1-1 from Nippon. 1-1 won't be a classic, and Tottenham are a bizarre team, very bizarre team. But as are we. To be fair, as are we. Watch Spurs turn up and beat us 2-1. Don't say that. 1-0 to Spurs, 3-1 to United. Who would you say? I mean, obviously, we know that Ollie's under the most pressure and stuff, but you'd probably say that coming into this, obviously, United players will be feeling the pressure more. Like I said, Spurs aren't doing well. Nuno isn't doing great. But in terms of the way the season's going at the minute, with the money that we've spent on players, there's more pressure on us going into this game, following what happened at the weekend as well. Can our players hack it? Because there's a lot of pressure on our players right now. And Ollie, of course. 5-0 to United. Terence, you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised at that as well. It's just, it depends what the United turn up. We can't judge us. We cannot judge us. We cannot presume, because we could turn up and we could play like we did against Liverpool, or we could turn up and play like we did against Leeds and look a lot more attractive going forward. So it's so frustrating. But Spurs aren't playing well. But you know what it's like when United are in town teams. It's like a cup final, isn't it? It's just teams step up. See that, Fred? That's not the attitude. How can you want your team to lose? That just baffles me. How can you want your team to lose? I don't get it at all. Whether you're Ollie in or you're Ollie out, surely you want your team to win. I don't understand this idea of like, oh, if Ollie turns it around somehow, and don't get me wrong, it's unlikely, but if Ollie turns it around, yeah, are you like angry at the fact, or are you like, you know what, oh, fair play, he's shut me up, he's turned me around, and my team is successful again, or are you like just mad because your egos because you got it wrong? Do you know what I mean? I don't get. We're football fans at the end of the day, and surely you want your club to win. I don't understand that, Fred, at all. Ads, thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. It says 1-1, I'm expecting his same 11 and it's not good enough, but if he makes big changes, is he just making them because he's up for the sack? Yeah, because he's had so many chances, like performance after performance have been poor. It's not like the performances have gradually improved or anything like that all season. We've seen the same week in, week out. So if Ollie changes stuff now, it is because he's on the brink. It has to be, doesn't it? Because he's had so many chances to rotate and so many chances to play Donny or to even bring him on, and he just doesn't do it. So yeah, exactly. If we win, I do not care who is in charge. Even if you want Ollie to stay or go, you should never want your team to lose. Totally agree with that. I just don't understand that mindset. Like I say, I understand. I'm not saying you have to back Ollie. I'm not saying that you want Ollie in charge. If you don't want him, that's fair enough. But this is about your club and about your team. Do you know what I mean? Like, surely you should always want your team to win. Every time that has not been playing well or have had bad injuries, we get stuff from this season. It's a phrase of doom. Matthew, hello to Matthew. Hope you're doing good. It says a draw is the worst result. If we ever lose, then a silver line, Ollie goes. And if we win 3 points, a draw does no bad. True. And that's why I can just see this one. A draw, I think that's probably the most the most probable result, to be honest with you, because both teams, like I say, I think will be a bit hesitant. There's a lot of pressures on both managers. Yeah, I'd rather see us just go at them, score some goals, but I can't see it happening. McFreddy all the way. Soph, do you think if Lingard doesn't get any game time soon, he'll leave in January? Would love Everton to snap him up. I don't know why we didn't sell him to West Ham in the summer, to be honest with you. Obviously, he lit the world up there. He played so well, almost broke into that England side. I feel for Lingard in that sense. But we said it from the off, like he's never really going to play over Bruno. Donny should be ahead of him as well in terms of coming into that midfield. You've obviously still got players like Martial, Cavani, Greenwood, Rashford. I literally can't see Lingard breaking into that lineup. And we said that from the off, and that's why we said we should get some money for him. But obviously, as usual, the club just haven't done business the right way again. But I don't think he'll leave in January now. I think he'll stay. I think he loves the club and he'll stay and being a squad player. But for me, we should have just got some money for him in the summer. I don't understand why we didn't do that. And I felt a bit sorry for Lingard in that sense because he played really well at West Ham. But he said he wanted to stay and fight for his place. I just can't see him getting that place. I will watch this game with dread. I can honestly see another massive scoreline and the same against City. Well, if that's the case, surely he has to go. There's no backing him from that. No backing him at all from nobody. But hopefully that is not the case. Of course, hopefully that doesn't happen. Conte wants to bring in Verratti, and that would change us immediately. Verratti is a player that I've always wanted at United. I would take that. I mean, I don't believe it, but I would definitely take it. Nad says we have the best goalkeeper in the universe, but the Defiance keeps screwing up Maguire and Shaw, running into each other. When that goal went in, honestly, it was like Chucker Brothers to me to you. I don't even know what they were doing. They just hit each other and let Naby Keita just slot when I don't even know what's happening. I can't remember what goal was which now, but I remember seeing Shaw and Maguire just spinning around, thinking, what on earth is going on here? Could it get any worse than this? Problem Lingard has, West Ham are playing really well. He would find it difficult to start ahead of a few. He would now. He would know, but obviously last season they wouldn't have signed certain players, and he would have been that player in that number 10 for them. Tom, I'm a patient person. What can I say? In terms of performances, abysmal, shocking, depressing. Can I see him turning it around? In all honesty, no. I hope he does. But yeah, I can't see it happening. And like I say, this Spurs game for me is a bit of a nothing game. Yeah, we'll win, and like Matthew said earlier, it'll be 3 points, which is a nice positive. But in general, in the grand scheme of things, does that really make a difference? Does it mean that Ollie has turned a corner? No, of course it doesn't. And with the run that we've got, you just fear what's going to happen against City. Because I mentioned it before, Liverpool seemed to back off a little bit in that second half. I think it could have been a lot worse. City won't do that. City will be relentless. I mean, know how good City are going forwards. Liverpool put five past us. If we're not up for it, or if we bottle it like we did the other day, then it could be bloody double figures, couldn't it? Man City only had 1 point more than we do now at this stage of last season. Is there a possible overreaction? I think that's it. I think the performances have been so poor week in, week out, and I think that's the worry, isn't it? Because we haven't seen any signs of it turning around. It's not like Pep at least will rotate certain players. He'll switch his system up. But Ollie doesn't do that. He goes to the same players week in, week out, even if it's not working. And I think we need to make better use of our squad. And like I said, that does come down to Ollie. We don't play football like City do as well. The board won't pull the trigger until the manager they want it becomes available. Brendan Rodgers comes to mind. Would that be your ideal choice, Mark? Would that be your choice, Brendan Rodgers? It literally was a training session. Someone said this to me ages ago. We were playing football against a team who weren't very good. This was one of my old managers, and he said we played against a bunch of road cones. We were that bunch of road cones the other day. Like Liverpool were just running in and out of us, slaloming in. Just frustrating. We've Man United. Hello to Jay, by the way. We've Man United struggling for a few years now, and no sign of improvement. How concerned are you about the upcoming super fair of Newcastle United? You've got to be concerned, but you haven't signed anyone yet. But you have got to be concerned. I mean, when you sign Phil Jones at centre back and whatnot, then I won't be too worried. Now, of course, you have to take Newcastle seriously, and I'm intrigued to see what happens as well with that Newcastle squad now. Hello to Roberto. Hope you're doing good. James, thank you for that as well. Please do hit the like, guys, and share the video if you can as well. What the hell do we do in trainings? It's a joke. Well, we've got a new set piece manager, and all we've done is concede from set pieces since he's come in. So who knows what we do in training? Zoe says I agree with Soph. The performances, you turned around some results due to individuals, but the performances have been ridiculous. They've been so flat, so poor. Without Ronaldo's goals this season, I fear where we'd actually be. And a lot of people say, "Oh, has Ronaldo hindered us?" But if we're honest, without his goals, where would we actually be this season? And that just shows what it brings to it. And don't get me wrong, it'd be frustrating at times, and he won't press and whatnot. But like I say, without his goals, yeah. Ian says, "Well, that's harsh on road cones. Road cones don't give the ball to their strikers." True. I cannot grasp how we are playing so poorly with the squad that we have. I was so looking forward to this season. I think we all were. We were all buzzing this season. Everyone was saying we're going to get 21 and whatnot. And it's just, an anticlimax to say the least. I said we'd win the Champions League, just saying I'm in the mud. Here's a question, though, Zio. Say, for example, we carry on this form in the league. I mean, they're poor in the league, but we have got Mr. Champions League in Cristiano Ronaldo. If we win the Champions League this season, but nothing else, and have a dismal season in the league, would you be happy with that? And I'm asking everyone in the chat that as well. Would you be happy with a Champions League, nothing else, and a poor season in the league? How would you guys feel about that? Do you think the defeat on Sunday means he's gone? It has to, Tom. It has to. With Man City coming up next as well, surely this is his lifeline, if you like. But that's what I mean. I don't think this is a fair lifeline, really. I think we've seen enough to know that it's not going to change. Why wait one more? Why delay the inevitable? It seems like he's going to be gone anyway, so why wait? Ian says no. Sean says no. With the performances that we're playing as well, there's no way we win the Champions League. No way at all. You need to start playing as a team, not relying on individuals, saving you guys out of trouble. That just puts more pressure on them. Totally agree. Zio said no, we need top 4 and a Champions League win. Yeah. Don't get wrong, Curtis. I'm not saying we will do that. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying we will win the Champions League. We just got battered 5-0. Obviously, Liverpool. We're not winning Champions League, but I'm just throwing it out there. Just say if that did happen, because weirder things have happened in football. Would you be happy with that? And Vincent says, sorry, Sophie, but I wouldn't be happy with that. We should be winning it all. Of course, we should be going for everything. And it was nice to see City getting knocked out of the Carabao Cup, by the way. I'm going to throw that out there. No quad for them this season. That was in a crap week after an awful weekend, it was nice to just see a glimmer of positive news regards to that. But yeah, guys, this has been a fantastic show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Plenty of chat in yeah, plenty of debate in the chat, should I say. When I'm solo like this, I need plenty of points, and you lot were fantastic. Throwing comments in, throwing topics in, throwing questions in, and I really do appreciate it. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I will be doing more solo shows. I have also got Rick the Red coming up as well. I've been talking to Ricky. Will be coming on the show soon as well. I'm buzzing for that one. But yeah, I'll be live again before the Spurs game. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen? We shall see. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, make sure you follow Zio as well. He was in the chat as well. But yeah, guys, hit the sub button if you're new. Drop a like on the video. Share the video as well. And I'll be back soon. But until next time, take care.